VMs or containers? You would have known by now what a VM and a container is. In this short video, we will talk about what VMs are and where they should be used, what containers are, and where and how you use containers. So with that, Meena, tell us about virtual machines or VMs.
Sure. Virtual machines are a common name these days, but let's start with some history. So virtualization dates back to the early 1960s when IBM was actively researching ways to partition their mainframe computers to allow simultaneous access to multiple users. Today, as we all know, virtualization has come a really long way, and virtual machines are a common name thanks to the many vendors in the market today, like VMware, Microsoft, Citrix, and Oracle. So the way these solutions achieve virtualization today is by virtualizing the hardware in order to host different guest operating systems. So the way to look at it is imagine dividing a single computer into multiple virtual computers. And this is commonly achieved by running this software abstraction layer called a hypervisor, which runs directly on top of the hardware. So for an organization, running virtual machines can be a really smart choice because it allows them to segment and host different guest operating systems on top of a single computer. And also from an enterprise's perspective, it's easy for them to manage these virtual machines using a single user interface, and also monitor and assess for security risks using the same single interface. So, and today virtualization has grown to an extent that there are solutions available even if these virtual machines are spread across different servers. There are solutions available today to monitor all of these virtual machines across different servers using a single user interface. Also, in case there are security lapses, or if there is a particular operating system or virtual computer that's infected, then in that case, it's also easy for the enterprise to segment and isolate just this operating system, just this computer, without impacting the other operating systems or the underlying hardware as well. And also, portability is a very important aspect that needs to be considered today when talking about virtual machines, especially in today's world, right? So we see most enterprises trying to migrate from physical data centers to the cloud. So it's very important for these virtualization solutions to allow portability. So in case an enterprise wants to move all of their applications and services that are hosted on a physical server in a physical data center to the cloud, solutions are available to make these, to port these applications and services into the cloud as well, or any other hosted platform. So virtual machines are a big advantage to enterprises, and I'd say they have revolutionized the whole computing industry. But the only limitation that I would say from virtual machines perspective is most often they're not running on bare metal speed, right? So they don't directly run on hardware. So that's one limitation, and they are dependent on the host resources. So the performance of an application of a virtual machine itself is entirely dependent on the host machine's capabilities. But otherwise, Yash, these days we are seeing a huge uptick in container services. So how exactly are container services different from virtual machines?
Yes, and container has had a very long history as well. The fact is that the problem the container technology of today is looking to solve is not one of maximizing efficiency in a server. And the VM looked to solve that and did that effectively. The way I think about this, the way many of us think about container technology, is a very convenient application delivery vehicle. And what that means is the ease at which a developer can write code on his or her laptop, and how you can now port it to a dev or a stage environment and eventually to a production environment. That is greatly sped up when the underlying technology is not the person's laptop, but it's on a container. right? That's one. So the application delivery mechanism, the velocity of application deployment and development radically improves and increases. But beyond that, a container is, at the end of the day, it's a namespace, it's a process, it's an isolated process running in the operating system. So whereas in a VM, you have a hypervisor that virtualizes the hardware in the container space, you have a container engine that is taking these processes and isolating them. And essentially now you have apps with their own binaries and libraries protected from other apps, and they run as if they have the whole access to the operating system. So the container engine is a higher level of abstraction where one operating system is presented to multiple applications as if that application has solitary access to the operating system, right? So now what that means is, because it's just a process, you have an extreme quick speed of initiating a Docker container, or any container, right? Docker is the de facto standard, but you have so many other flavors of containers. So you can very quickly deploy a container, very quickly kill a container. So guess what? When you have a public cloud application where the ability to be elastic is very important, container is going to be great for that. But then you also have certain other applications, maybe legacy applications, which are on VMs, and you want to do a lift and shift. And so maybe some customers may begin with that lift and shift operations, but most customers who are deploying or developing a cloud native application, who are developing a microservices based architecture, are going to look at containers, and they're going to now use the advantages that containers have to offer. In some other videos, we will talk about when you have thousands of containers, rather than having hundreds of containers, now you will have tens of thousands of containers in your data centers or your public clouds. Now you have another level of challenges, which is the orchestration of those containers, which is the registration of the services that the containers are running, which is the deployment of these containers in the pods. And we will cover that in a separate video. But right now, hopefully, I hope this video helps you in understanding what a VM is and where VM is used, and what a container is and where a container is used. So thank you.